What we're going to do is take a look at Adobe Bridge, which is the application that ships with Photoshop that will allow you to build an organizational system for all of your images. So I'll go to Photoshop and choose File, Browse in Bridge. I'll maximize Adobe Bridge, and we're at the default workspace. I'm going to start by navigating into Assets and Chapter 4, and we have some shots from a photo shoot. I'll double-click to get inside and see them. On the lower right, I can get larger previews here, but we're going to use a unique bridge feature that I use for any project. When you're initially planning what images to use for a given project, you need to look at the project scope. You need to figure out which one of these images characterize what they're trying to sell or what they're trying to advertise. Let's imagine in this case it's an ad for children's clothing. So I will do a Select All, Edit Select All, Command A or Control A, and then I will go to View, Slideshow, and immediately hit the spacebar key. Spacebar pauses this so I can continue explaining. Now, Slideshow and Bridge are not new. They've been there since PhotoshopCS6. This is something I use for every batch of images, whether it be from my smartphone, from my tablet, from my high-end camera, or from my baby photographer, Jess Epstein. When I gather a group of images, I need to review them and decide which ones I want to post or which ones you'd like to use for a project. There were several hundred photos taken in this shoot, and we've narrowed them down to 13 comps, meaning they're comparables. You want to get those 13 down to the top 2 or 3 for this specific task. Now, on that task, they may say we need 2 or 3 images to convey the message and sell these pieces of clothing. But the scope of your project may change. You might get what's called scope creep, unforeseen changes, and now they want to use 8 images. So often I tend to pick double the amount they ask me for, correct them and get them perfect. So as they look at the 2 or 3 that I've chosen, they might decide that's not ideal. Bottom line, if you launch Bridge, you select all the images, you go to View and choose Slideshow, the best thing to do is define the images the client wants up front. So I'll bring a client into the room, and when I'm in slideshow mode, I will say, hit the number 5 if you really like this shot. I love this one, but there was a little piece of the comforter or blanket here in the lower right corner, and I need to repair it. So instead of a 5-star rating, I'll give it a 4-star because it's not good to go out of the box. In fact, you could see the pillowcase in the background, and that's something I may want to clone away or blur away even more. So we'll give this a 4-star. Then I'll hit my right arrow key on my keyboard to go to the next image. Again, I love this shot, and it may work as is, but the perfectionist in me wants to clone away this part of the pillowcase. So we'll give this a 4-star image rating as well by hitting just the number 4 on my keyboard. I'll hit my right arrow key, and I don't see anything I radically need to remove. But it looks a little devious. Let's go with a 5-star. I kind of like a devious look. I hit my right arrow key again. We'll give this one a 3-star. Hit right arrow again. And this is a lovely shot of the child's dress. I actually clicked once and it zooms into 100%. I click again and it zooms back out. So maybe I need to crop it. Pillowcase issues again. So I will give this a 4-star rating. I'll hit my right arrow key. I love everything about this shot. I love the look in his eyes. You can actually see the shirt, and I won't say the brand name, but those of you in the know will know. You could see the dress, although I may need to correct the highlights to preserve a little bit more of the detail in the top. So we'll give this 5-star just because I love the image so much, even though it needs some work. You'll find you have your own process going through these shots. So I'll keep hitting my right arrow key, giving them ratings as I go, deciding which ones are most important. Hitting 1 through 5. If you want to remove a rating, you can actually hit 0. So let's say I gave this a 4-star and the client rejected it, I can go back to 0. So I'm going to hit Escape to not go all the way through the slideshow. And the second very important thing I want to do is I can't stand seeing image names that are IMG something or DSC something. So I'll quickly batch rename these. Control A or Command A to select all and choose Tools, Batch Rename. Instead of the default project name, I'll name this Children. If there is a name for the project, for example, July 2012 catalog, you could add that. I don't like my file names very long, so I'll get rid of the date created. I'll get rid of this text because I don't need it. And a 2-digit sequence number is sufficient because there's 13 images. I'll click Rename, and now I can breathe a sigh of relief. I can also see the ratings here, and if you decide while in this mode that there's a shot you absolutely love, you can click on the image and then hit this empty column once to attach a 5-star rating. Click here. I'll go roughly to the 3-star area. To finish, I could choose View, Sort by Rating, and View, Sort, turn off ascending order. Ascending order goes to unrated images, then 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. In this case, I want my 4 and 5 stars first. So there's 2 5-star images, followed by my 4 stars, and then my 3. And then the unrated ones will simply get trashed, or I might decide to build a contact sheet for the client. And good news, in PhotoshopCS6, the contact sheet feature is back. They pulled it from CS5, they added it back because enough people asked for it in CS6. I love that Adobe listens. So you've just seen an outstanding way to rate and name your images and get a better look at them even sitting down with the client without the distraction of everything else. I expect you to get out there and begin organizing your images and naming them appropriately from here on out, or plan a weekend to tackle the cleanup of your photos or pictures folder.